you're bouncy. Do you know that today is the first day I've had makeup on in a week? Okay? I kind of feel like I have way too much on because I've been living in a world that does not require makeup. So what's been going on? What's going on, you the tube? I am HotMess Ness MUA, otherwise known as Vanessa. What's going on, you the tube? I am HotMess Ness MUA, otherwise known as Vanessa. And why are we doing a video in this style where you're shaking like a mofo? Well, I started December with a version of Vlogmas, which is my version, which meant that I was going to upload like every other day, which is good for me. And everything kind of went to shit, hell in a handbasket, whatever you want to call it. And I've been kind of like referencing to that lately, that things have been getting a little more complicated for me. And it's like when people say their whole life changed in an instant, mine hasn't been going like that. It's been one thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, which has probably made it so that way nothing was like, oh my God, my whole life has changed. Does that make sense? It's almost like preparing you for the blow. So I felt like it would be weird to put up a makeup video when I have been absent from social media for at least 2 weeks. So I'm just gonna say everything that I have to say because why not? You know, I'm discovering that I like creating content for YouTube. I'm not as obsessed with makeup as I used to be because it is becoming increasingly less important to me. Even washing my face has been like a feat as of yet. So I'm gonna run you down on what's been going on since my last upload. And then I'll probably fill you in with the vlogs that I already pre-recorded and some makeup videos that I have done and just have not gotten going because life has been that way. So right before I went on my vacation, I started my official vacation from work on December 21st was like the last day that I worked, and tomorrow is December 30th. So I started to get sick, and I usually catch a little case of the flu or cold every year, but this time it was just me and Aslan. And usually it's everybody else gets sick, and then so that tells me something like, Aslan gets everything because she's the youngest and she's got to build up her immune system. Me, I'm usually like the last one. So for it to be her and the very next day me, and it started with some fever, chills, and I still am coughing. So I was probably like the 13th or 14th. It's been a long haul with the illness. Now, plugged in between that, I did talk to you guys about needing to have open communication and dialogue for co-parenting. And I'm just gonna be honest about what's happened. I have 3 baby daddies. My ex-husband and I have the 2 older kids. Okay, they're gonna be 16 and 13. My ex, he was my boyfriend. We didn't get married. We were together like 8 years, and we have Troy and May, the middle ones, and Donnie is the dad of Aslan. So essentially, me and the ex have not been together for 5 years. 5 years we've been doing this, parenting thing, and there hasn't been many bumps. It's more like I do, and then he takes them when he wants to, and there's never really been any major problems. He had some medical issues and went on medical leave, and I was still getting some child support. Then when that ran out, because you're only going to get it for so long from your company, Then it'll go over to state, and when it went to state, I stopped getting money. Now, before that had happened, I had forgiven his debt because it affected his driver's license. I think it was like $20,000 or $30,000, and they were going to take away his license, and I wiped him to zero. So I think that these are important things to note, because a lot of times people say that women are money hungry when it comes to, the ex-baby daddy, and that is not the case. For me, if you have income coming in, take care of your kids. If they need field trip money, it doesn't have to go directly to me, but if you can't even pay for the classroom pizza, which would then fall on a teacher, which I think is irresponsible, then you have some problems. And we've had those issues before, where it was a night that he had the kids, and the very next day was a pizza party, and they needed donations and at the time I think it was like $3, and he couldn't do it. So I'm not gonna leave that on a teacher for my kid to enjoy, so that, I had to run over to the school and provide. None of this has been a major deterrent or problem, but now he's in a relationship. And you know how women are. Women want to fix the problems, okay? Which I get. I mean, like, this is in her case, her new family now. And that's her man, and she doesn't want the issues to be issues, and she wants to fix things. Well, sometimes you gotta really understand what you've jumped into that you might not be able to fix. Like me, I can't fix me. So what was I saying? Fixing issues. So what I was kind of stressing over was having a sit-down meeting because of the situation, because of where he lives, who's going in and out of his house. It really comes down to my children's safety. And when all of a sudden I'm getting child support paperwork to lower the amount, and now I'm going to have to do a court date. Well, I'm okay with that. But you see, I already wiped him to zero. So why was there not a phone call? Oh, because now there's another woman involved and you want to pussyfoot around. That doesn't need to happen. Because at the end of the day, the children do not belong to me. They are not mine. I don't think like that. I think more like whoever can enrich, and it should be both, of course, but whoever can enrich and make these children's lives better should be involved. But if you aren't working, you're not an active member of society, and you're just kind of living off of the government and not doing your best, then I don't want my children to think that that's okay. I don't want my kids to be those children. I want them to do better. My God, do better. And especially having a child that is delayed, I don't want him to think that he can just live with mommy forever and then adopt a bunch of children. And that's part of the new reality that is this life. My ex has always been very, very friendly, and it's like everybody becomes family. That's fine, but you can't shove that down kids' throats. Just because you moved a girl in with you, a month ago, that does not become my kids' mom. Her children do not become my kids' brothers and sisters. And just because you want to tell the interweb that's your wifey, you're not legally married. And I don't believe in the whole, you don't have to be married to have someone be your partner. I mean, me and Donnie aren't married. Not because I don't want to marry him. It just doesn't make a lot of sense right now. But at the same time, we have a family unit. It's taken years to establish that. We didn't just move in together and be like, this is your new dad. And all of my children are linked by blood. And I know that there is more than blood to family. I know that. But you can't shove it down kids' throats just because it's the, agenda you want to have. And that's what I'm seeing. So we sat down and we had this meeting of adults to talk about all of the issues that I had, from safety, from having little girls share rooms with boys that are not her family and her family. My daughter does not have her own space, which is required by law. Just, you know, things of that nature. Like, don't leave my kids with her oldest child who's 15 so you guys can go ride motorcycles or do whatever. And he had no transportation before this woman. He had a motorcycle. So is it safe for the kids to be with you during the week? Because you have no way to get anyone to the emergency room besides 911. You know what I mean? And it also is on me. It's like, if they need a change of clothes or they need to be picked up from school, can you help? Because if you can't, I want to cut you out of the equation during the week because I know I can't rely on you. And I've had multiple times where I could not rely. And so everything that was said was, you know, we listened, we talked. It was, you know, him and his partner, me and mine. And we addressed multiple things. And the other thing was communication. Do not communicate through children. Do not have the children ask me if they can come over for 4 days or 3 days or whatever. And the other thing that I discovered was that she was clocking time for custody stuff. And I said that I would never give 50-50. Not in the situation, not with the way that these people think. No. And he jumped right in and said, how's every other weekend? But ever since then, he's been asking through the children for more time. So it tells me you weren't listening to a damn thing that I said in that meeting. And now everything has to be court because you aren't listening. And that sucks. So that was that portion, right? Well, in the midst of all of this, Papa, Donnie's dad, he's 84 years old. He got in a horrific car accident. So the Friday night before Christmas, some lady was driving to the dump and she was getting rid of her mattress. Well, she didn't tie it down. And it flew out and it nicked my father-in-law's car. And the original story was that it flipped up his car and he rolled down the mountain, which was petrifying. But it actually like nicked it and it spun down the mountain, which is just as bad. But he's 84 years old. He has a broken collarbone and he has 2 broken ribs and he can't be alone. The reality of it is that his life has probably changed forever. He may never be able to be alone again. And what does that mean? He's got Donnie and his sister, and he has another son that lives north. So it's Donnie or sister. Well, sister isn't really wanting that. At least that was my impression. I got somebody in one of my comments went for me saying that I was like bad mouthing family, and that's not the case. Everybody's different. For me, this is the love of my life, and I want to make him happy. And this is also the man that created the love of my life. So I'm gonna do what I need to do. So he's been staying with us. He sits on the living room couch and we can't leave him alone. And I go back to work on Tuesday and Donnie goes back to work the following week. And what does that mean? It means it won't be Donnie, and it means it won't be his sister. It means it'll be me, because I work nights, so I can be home during the day. It's a huge commitment, and we're not quite there yet. If he heals and he can be back in his home, that's probably the most ideal. But if he doesn't, then he's gonna have to live with us. And again, it's going to ultimately fall on me. And I am okay with that as long as it's my way. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's more like, don't make plans, don't decide things without running things by me. And so far it's been like I said, not that my life has changed in an instant, because it's been one thing after another, but I'm already looking at 2020, like maybe 2019 was a good year and 2020 is going to be the one that tests me, because I'm feeling like I'm going to be a new parent to an 84-year-old man. And then I'm also going to be going to court and dealing with custody and things that I never thought that I'd have to do with this particular relationship, because we did seem to have a decent communication. And now that there's a third party involved, it may not work out that way. And I don't want to talk bad about her. I don't know her. I just don't think she understands fully the situation. Maybe he hasn't been forthcoming, because she did say, oh, well, I did the paperwork because he got, a letter saying that he owed you $200,000. And I was like, oh, no, that's not me. I could show you how much is owed to me, and it's a fourth of that. The rest is the other baby mama, and these kids are grown, but that's not me. So you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, that money is going to be owed no matter what. Even if I wiped him to zero, he's still going to owe somebody else $160,000. So, and I don't think she knew, because her eyes kind of went and looked at him. But I don't know. And the communication sucks now. And now I feel like I have to be watching all the time. Like, I would have been, yeah, you can have the kids for as many days. Like, it's a holiday, no big deal. And now I feel like, oh no, you're clocking time, because they clocked football practice as part of their timing, because she said he had the kids 40% and I had 60-40. But they added football practice. I'm like, that's not taking care of children time. That's something that you guys are doing, because that's the only involvement up until that point he's had with the kids was football. He doesn't go to the school meetings, or, it's like, you know what I mean? The education is not what he's involved in. I mean, yeah, he helps with homework when they're there, but so you get where I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't let you have them and he's always asking for 3 days at a time. And I'm like, that's purposeful. That's you guys playing games. So that way the child support will be lowered. But they were honest. They have no intention of paying it. They just don't want it to get any higher. Not one outfit, pair of shoes have come to my house for back to school. Not any of that. And yeah, I'm taking it a little personal, because you'll buy clothes for at your house. But if they're only going every other weekend, what's the point? But they don't think like that. They're like, well, if you want me to take care of them, I have to have them. It's not how it works. But again, it's not about money. Like, I'd be like, you don't have to pay me a thing if you made sure that they had new shoes when they needed it, or a field trip, or $3 for pizza. So that's where I'm at right now. There's lots of makeup to look at. There's lots of fun things. And I think that this is going to be my life now, guys. And what my channel may turn into. Like, we'll talk about makeup, but you might go on an amazing journey with me to the land of courthouses and child support and caring for an old man, sponge baths, that kind of thing. This could be the new version, and I'm okay with that. And I hope you are too, because I really love creating content and talking to you guys. It's my release, and I've missed it so much. Gosh, you don't even know how much I missed it. I have no life. I mean, I have lots of life, but I don't have like my people, besides my children and all that, and I miss this. So hopefully you'll be along with me on this journey, and I could use it. So all right, guys, I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, and the videos that will be here and there, I hope you enjoy them, and we'll talk soon. Mwah. Bye. If you've made it this far, then subscribe. And here's more videos you can watch over here, or over here, or over here. Click them all.